Welcome to Tuesday Recap. This is your host, Chris and Depop here. And we're back with The Flash, Season 4, Episode 19, Fury Rogue. When Barry needs help transporting a dangerous meta, he calls an old friend to help, Leo Snart, AKA Citizen Cold. Meanwhile, Cisco becomes suspicious of Harry. I'm laughing because literally when I'm cutting it out, but you guys are going to hear it. When I opened this up, I said, welcome to Movie Trailer Reviews, because I do too many podcasts. I just, it's too much going on. Anyway, hey man, you know what? I like this episode.
It was fine.
Yeah. I mean, late in the season, but like, you know what I liked about this episode? I like this episode because it at least had Barry dealing with the grief. I like that aspect of Barry dealing with the fact that, you know what, everybody does die around you, Barry. Had a lot of people going around.
It's also like kind of the bad guy's called the thinker. What's the opposite of logic? Emotion. Like we could kind of see this coming.
Oh no! Oh wait! I wouldn't even get to that part. But nigga, we called that. We called this. We called this before, like the break. That the difference between Barry and the thinker is Barry has his team coalesce around him. They embrace emotional, while the thinker gets more cold from his own wife.
Right.
We called that months ago. So
yeah. No, but I think the execution, you're right, was pretty good here. I think that everyone got a chance to kind of shine those emotional moments. You're right. Barry was the fulcrum of the episode, having to deal with not just the fallout of Ralph's death, for which he felt responsible because he was responsible.
Right. I feel like nobody talked about that enough. Like,
no one was like, he's like, I feel like it's my fault. Everyone's like, nah. I'm like, can we have one person say no and not mean it?
It was kind of like,
it
was kind of your fault. Yeah.
Like, you didn't kill him.
I mean, but you might as well have.
Yeah, you definitely set up to get killed. But just,
I mean, it's like Barry was. I shouldn't say this, but like Barry's I was a volunteer, not a co-founder.
Why'd you do that? No. I'm not. Both teams play hard, my man. That hasn't even dropped yet, has it? I'm making a callback joke to something we recorded last weekend, but that hasn't even dropped.
What was that? Was that the mailbag?
It's the mailbag.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, no, it was funny.
That's a time traveling joke, motherfuckers. Yeah.
Oh, we got two of them because at the end of the episode, we're talking about a comic book that we talked about on the mailbag that won't come until Friday.
I definitely gonna make fun of the Venom trailer, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. Anyway, so no, you're right. I actually like that. I like the fact that of Caitlyn dealing with losing losing Killer Frost, like that stuff. You know what it is? I like the emotional aspect of this episode. Let's put it that way. The emotional stuff that hit worked for me. I don't know what it is, but this season the Harry Cisco thing is not working for me.
Well, I think it's because I think Wells has felt kind of untethered, but they nail it because he's the smart guy, and he hasn't been smart this season because they have a guy who's smarter. So he's felt a little out of place. Right. Like they put a really fine point on it. This episode. I was like, oh, they're right. That's kind of why I haven't loved Harry this season. He's been second best to the bad guy the entire time, which is a place for you to sing Barry, honestly.
Right. And hey, look, I like Wentworth Miller. I like Leo Snart in the fact that he's in every episode he's played. So his arc, the end Wentworth Miller's arc on the show, which by the way we know he's coming back. He's got the thing. He'll come back at some point. Okay,
so that was the end of his contractual obligations.
Right.
He says he'll come back to the right story. Same thing Barrowman says. So that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to get my Lynn Snart focused Rogue season, which makes me a little sad.
Well, so I'll get to that in a second. But like I was going to say, I like Leo Snart because he's always playing this. Like he did the same thing on Legends when he left, where he's basically hoping some of the characters kind of get through their emotions. So it's like he's like the therapist, Snart.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And I really have enjoyed that. I really have enjoyed seeing him do that stuff, and it works. He's able to nail it. He's and he has some really good points. He did the stuff with Mick. He did this stuff with Sarah. He works. I mean, it's Wentworth Miller, so he's always been good with all the cast. Right. But he got everybody. He got, obviously he got the stuff with Barry, calling Barry out. Basically, like, I love that line he said to Barry. It's like when Barry gave that speech, it's like, great speech, great speech, but I just want to make sure you're not just saying it, but you also hear it. Basically, you need to follow your own advice. Him talking to Caitlyn when she found the note in her pocket and saying, it's okay if you miss somebody. It's okay if you're missing a piece of yourself. Like, I like the fact that, I used to have him Counselor Snart, because that's what he really was. It's a fucking counselor. Now, the flip side of this is, while I like this, it goes back to my problem that you just mentioned. Where am I going to get the fucking rogues? Like, guys, you can't. What are we doing? Like, hey, look, I like Earth X Snart. That's nice to have around for a little bit. We had, Snart die in the first season. Yeah, first season of Legend of Tomorrow. We got the old Snart back in season 2 a little bit. You got to figure some shit out, because you're basically, and this might be the bigger problem with the Flash. This is kind of go when we talk about Flash 45, the issue. You can't really nail the essence of the Flash if you don't have the rogues, kind of, because they're ingrained in the city of Central City, and I think Central City is such a big part of the Flash, and I feel like we don't have that anchor anymore. We never really had it, and it's becoming really noticeable. And so when you're doing these seasons, you can't. It just doesn't work. And so I don't know. I feel like you can do these one-off episodes better if. And again, I don't think this is a one-off episode because it does tie to Devoe, which we'll get into. I just feel like you need that part there. Like, imagine if we started the season off and you had the rogues, and you could get some of the smaller issues there, and maybe they were being manipulated. Something like that, and you had them there, but right now there is no.
I will say this: the blacksmith character. What's the I forget her name.
Amunet. She was kind of close. It was close.
So if you remember in Jeff Johns' run, the new rogues were run by blacksmith. So I think they've done a good job, kind of like they did with Vigilante last season, where he'd pop up and wasn't a focus. Mm-hmm. She's been a recurring bad guy in the background this season. And I think because you have the metahuman smuggling ring. Let's say it ends with her saying, "I'd rather keep him for myself."
Look. If you're saying, "Hey, look, we can't get Captain Cold, but we'll do Amunet,"
yeah,
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I'll rock with that. I know. As long as we use some sort of fucking organization, these haphazard ass rogues are pissing me off. That's the thing about them. That's what makes them dangerous. I'm gonna paraphrase Wally West here when he was talking to Batman. You think my guys aren't dangerous because they're not screwed to the hilt? My guys are organized. My guys have a code. They have plans.
I thought you were going to quote with my favorite part of that, which is...
Touch me tonight. Let you know, the only reason you touched me, Batman, is because I let you.
Right. As he changed to his costume from his work overalls to his suit and Batman in the same fucking panel. Like, it's like, yeah, you only touch me, but gonna let you touch me. So, but yeah, I like I said, I think that's, and again, that has nothing to do with this episode here. That's just, seeing Whitworth Miller going, seeing Snart go. It is kind of, again, we knowing that he's contractually, his contract is over. He can come back when they have the right story and things like that. But it just also then feels like you've had him for 4 seasons on contract, and he's kind of been wasted.
I did like what they did with him on Legends. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, no. Yeah, you're right. I mean, well, let's take Legends out of it because...
That's something we got to make sure we avoid falling trap of. They use it in a way that we wouldn't have done.
Well, I think... Right. And like I said, I get it. I don't know. I feel like there was so much more there, and I think it would have fixed some of the problems they have earlier in their season. But anyway, go back to this episode. Again, I liked... Excuse me. I like Counselor Snart. Like that. Need to get that. Need to get that.
He's kind of relentless too, isn't he?
Well, yeah. And I think it goes back to just Whitworth Miller's personality. He's and he wouldn't let it go, and he was right. And honestly, I think the other thing too that works with this is it's the first time in a while we've seen somebody really get on Barry and not let Barry get away with his shit he normally does. Barry normally just sits there and mopes and complains and doesn't get called out on his shit. Yo, Snart called him out on it. It was just like, come on, man. I see through this shit. What's going on? And I think that was important. And I think it was important seeing it come from somebody outside the team. Because the team kind of gets used to what Barry does unless we get away with it. So having Snart come in and be like, no, something seems wrong. No, we're not going to do this. You need to work these out. You need to talk about your feelings. I think it's great. And I love it. I like the fact that he teased Cisco and Barry. I figured if you two can make it, and it was like, no, but he's like, I know, I'm just joking with you guys.
Cisco has no chill. Tighten up. Yeah, Cisco, maybe you should work that out about yourself. That's Cisco thing. You reckon a little bit too hard, especially the hair thing at the end. Yeah, I need Cisco to just have some hard conversation with himself about what he really believes.
So I like that. How many Laurel Lances do we need?
Take a look. All right, so I was having the episode, and Susan came down and we were eating dinner. She goes, "Wait, which Laurel is this?" I go, Earth X. She goes, "So not this Earth?" I go, "No." She goes, "Not the other Earth?" "No." "A third Earth?" I said, "Yes."
And they didn't take her back, which means she's still on this Earth.
Yeah, I forgot about that shit.
So that means they're still on this Earth. Which you know what they're going to do then, right?
They're going to kill another Laurel and bring back another Laurel. Always carry a spare. That's honestly the best policy.
Well, I think
you're going to need a spare Laurel.
Well, I was going to go even worse. They're going to, and actually they might be both. They're going to kill this Laurel, blame this Laurel for the current Earth 2 Laurel's shenanigans. It's just, fuck. Tired, man. Like, we didn't need this. We didn't. And honestly, to be perfectly honest, it didn't do anything. Like,
right?
You could have done so much easier with somebody else. You didn't need to bring Earth 2. You didn't need to bring, Earth X Laurel. You could have used anybody. Hell, you could have used a rogue. Go figure. You could have used a rogue. Where's Mirror Master at? Like, I mean, we have he has rogues. You could have used some. You didn't have to go and get which. And I'll say this too. I did like her powers. Right?
Yo, I like the little tweak.
I like the tweak. So let me not say it was all bad, but it just one of those things. It just felt like it was unnecessary. And I'm not gonna lie, that was the one thing that made me go, it took me out of the episode. Yeah, because it just was so unnecessary.
Well, they even lampshaded it. I think they dealt with it on the episode.
Mm-hmm.
She's from Earth X. She's the same powers as the Laurel from Earth 2. There's a Laurel from Earth 1. Yeah, she's dead now. Well, what happened to her? Well, she was the second Black Canary. Actually, the first Black Canary sister. She died too, but now she's back as a White Canary. She's actually a time traveler now. Like, the fuck?
It's more ridiculous when you think about it. Actually, like, technically, you miss a Black Canary because Evelyn, who I think's still dead.
Oh, goddamn right!
Did Evelyn die on the island? Because I don't know.
She didn't come up because she was Black Canary 3.
Right, she really was. So
she's not a Laurel. So really,
how many Black Canaries? Oh my God, how many Black Canaries are there? This is a bit.
Unless because the all Earth ones never called themselves Black Canaries. So only 3.
Oh, okay. So that makes it different. Okay.
Well, this is all the ones like Black Siren, right?
This one's Siren. Oh, this was like Siren X or something like that. She wasn't even like Black Siren. She was something else.
Keep it the color scheme, lady.
She was Hail Hitler Siren. I don't fucking know. It's just my fuck it. Oh, fuck it. But I did like but again, going back to the overall theme, we see it, Marlize is gonna we all know, we can all see it coming. Marlize is going to betray Devoe because he's lost his way and he's literally has outthought himself from emotions. Like when she put that dress on, bruh, come on, dog.
You know what's gonna happen, right?
What's gonna happen?
She's gonna get that good talking to from Iris West. They already had 2 altercations, 2 one-on-one scenes, and the third one's gonna be Iris expressing her love for Barry and says, "Don't you miss that about your husband? We can bring him back. We can save him." You're not betraying him. He doesn't exist anymore. You already lost your husband.
Which is a valid point.
those words will be said on this show
Oh, yeah.
by Iris West to his wife. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. They will be. Yeah. I mean, so it's like, I mean, he was gonna drug her again. So you already see that was a fucking problem. It's like, hey, bro, you gotta drug your own wife. And when she was like, well, can't we know each other like husband and wife? I'm like, hey, bro, she's trying to get your dick. Can you? you have them new stretchy powers. How about you? Oh, you can't even. You're too busy about like. Oh, you've literally have outthought. Like you've become. Yeah, you've just outthought sex and everything. Oh, fuck you, dude. Oh, you gotta go. So, I again, I think this is another problem that again, it's not a bad problem. It is definitely not as bad as last season, where we already know how this is gonna end. Like at this point, it's pretty much okay. Figure this out. Like we don't know his full plan yet. I mean, we know he's building something, but it doesn't really matter. Like at this point,
like was the plan a bomb? If the plan's a bomb, I'm done.
It doesn't matter. But here's the thing. It doesn't. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he's building. We have no. Again, we have this idea that we know because the season ends that the bad guy always loses, but here it literally doesn't matter what he's building. I don't care.
That's kind of I think that's kind of the point of the season is that the connections between it's the same thing. And so for the first time ever, actually, I was listening to one of our own podcasts. I was listening to the Marvel universe, MCU universe, and part of it was us talking about how the spectacle isn't the draw of the people, the characters are because we care. That's what this is kind of proving this season.
Right.
The spectacle hasn't really been there. I'm sorry.
No, and it hasn't. But and that's why I say I go back to the thing that works for me this episode is the emotional part. Like that's the thing that gets me. That's the thing that I loved. And yeah, I think that that's what does it for me. And there's things I wish would have changed, but it's not too much. Bad. And again, it wasn't a bad episode. And again, I think the emotion it hits you in every piece. Like they said, the stuff with Laurel. I mean, Laurel, not Laurel. The stuff with Caitlyn. The stuff with Barry. Them going back to. I like the whole thing that again is the theme of the season. Them and going to marriage counseling, which you can see that Devoe and Marlies probably need too.
Yeah,
but you got that. Even though, like I said, I haven't been really feeling their relationship this season. Cisco and Harry, and I enjoyed that end when Harry basically when Cisco basically broke it down to Harry's like, look, dude, it's not just you being really really smart, which is why why Jesse loves you and why you're important. It's like you're more than just being a smart person. You're her dad, and we're gonna fix you. Like. That was the part that landed for me because it just feels like again, and I get it's been on purpose. Harry feeling like he's not smart enough, and he has this. He's been so erratic,
right?
And I think that's the thing, and it just.
Well, and I get it. Like if you look at it from a long term, this character's particular arc, his grounding has always been in that position on the team. He's flailing because he doesn't have that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. So it's like, and again, so in this season. I totally get it story-wise why they had to do it that way. Last thing, that is your first mistake. Leave the thinking to me. You can't say that to your wife. You just leave the...
Whole team's playing hard, my man. Look, man, like there's just... I can't... I'm over here trying to imagine a situation where I could say that and it didn't make the news.
Right,
like, wait, no, she stabbed me.
There are guns in your house, right? Yeah.
No, she'd stab me. She would want to kill me, but she made me not want to forget.
right. So when you're talking to your kid, you're like, "Yeah, see this wound here? Yeah, that was
That's how you learn the things you can't say.
Yeah.
But I found it.
April 2018. So this is something that Justin sent into from 3/5 sent into the mailbag, but it involves the Flash. I'm going to read it here, and then we're going to get into Flash 45. So this season, The Flash was a mixed bag. He said I could read at the end of the season, but I'm just going to read it now. It was a mixed bag. Really, the last 3 seasons have been uneven, enjoyable, but still needed a fix. So here's my completely unsolicited amateur opinion on how to fix a successful and wildly popular show. Number 1, mini arcs. It looks like the writers' room at The Flash has trouble sustaining a prolonged arc of 23 episodes, so we're not breaking the 3 mini arcs, which is basically what it's not even what Agent of Shield does, but because they do have one long arc. But I totally agree with it. I think doing 3 little mini arcs for a 23 episode season would definitely help. Right. Scaling. Not every arc thread has to be a world ending cataclysm. Each season so far has resulted in a final battle that decides the fate of the world of the multiverse. It doesn't have to be so high stakes every time. I actually think this is why they won't do the rogues, because they aren't Armageddon villains, they're thieves. See, this is why I'm reading this now, because I fully agree with this. Like, we just talked about this, and it also goes down to the thing about it. The last season, the season of Arrow that worked the best are the one what, because even like the second season ended with them like it was Deathstroke versus everybody else, but that was just Star City. The last season though, which to me creeped up into best season territory, it was just about Oliver. Like, Adrian Chasey wanted to blow up Oliver and all his friends.
Right.
And people he loved. It's small. Kept it small, kept it revenge. You don't have to, like you said, don't have to end up doing that. Like, you know you leave the big stuff up to? Legend of Tomorrow. They're time travelers. Number 3, bring in the rogues. Have Leonard Snart from Earth 40 come to this Earth to escape the Barry Allen of his Earth and rebuild the rogues. He doesn't want to take over the world. He just wants to be the king of the thieves. He works in a mini arc where the rogues are built and we see the damage they're doing to the central city. Yes. Bring back Matt Lesher. Thawne can never really die because each death is just the end of his time of that timeline. We still have everything he's done before his death. One of the best parts of season 2 is when he returns, Barry says, "You're dead," and he replies, "Good to know." a mini arc about Matt kidnapping Iris to the future, where you learn why Earbod became the Reverse Flash could be good. Okay, I just want to see a live adaptation of Every Second is a Gift. Yeah, you did. Give us Zoom, the real Zoom.
That could be a season.
Yeah.
Give us one real, true Reverse Flash season where it's not like a build up to a thing, but he just appears every like 5th episode and just fucks everything up.
Yeah. Yeah. Give us Zoom, the real Zoom. You have Hunter Zolomon as a profiler. Use him. Again, you can get a very personal story about someone who believed in the system and in the Flash and had the faith shattered, and then gets on a vendetta against Barry. That's it. I'm sure 80% of these ideas are trash, but thanks for letting me vent. I don't think they're trash at all. I think there's a lot of things that, particularly for people that are fans of the Flash and know how good his story is going to be, because we're about to get into talking about Flash number 45 that just came out this week from DC, and so again, we're talking about something we talked about. We're coming to you from the future because when we did the poll, so we recorded our mailbag already. We recorded it on Sunday because we're about to record our character corner after this. So we switched them up, and we talked about, I had a poll list, and we're talking about I had caught all the way up on the Flash, and I've been loving the story. I have not been loving the artwork. You know what I figured out after we recorded? I figured out what it is about the artwork. It's not smooth. It's so jagged. And it just, when I'm thinking the Flash, I think it has to flow because it's speed. It's just I need those straight lines. I need the artwork to pop. And so I open it. So today I'm in my training and I'm going to lunch and Devoe hits me on Twitter. It's like, yo, nigga, have you checked out the Flash? I'm like, well, no, I haven't watched it yet. He's like, no, the comic book. So I read it, and they have a new artist. I don't know if Christian Duce, and I think it's Duce Ferdinand's. I don't know if they're gonna be their artists going forward, but nigga, they need to be.
I think that. So the Grodd arc was always not a filler, but it was always a setup for Flash. Where if you read the annual, that was kind of the thing they've been building towards. And so I think that they've been using the other artists to get us ready to time it up so we don't have any fill-ins or missed or late issues during Flash.
Right.
Because I think it's going to tie into also, excuse me, just reading solicitations, some of the no justice stuff that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important that you hit your times.
Yeah, because this artwork in this book is fucking amazing. It's so.
It was really good.
It's the entire. I didn't even finish reading the story in it, and I was telling you, I was like, yo, this artwork is It's just. This is what I've been missing in my Flash book, because I think that the writing is there, the artwork hasn't always been there, and it's been hard to concentrate. But this is where. So if you haven't been following, this is we've already gone through the Rebirth stuff, but this is Wally West, the Wally West we grew up with, is back, but he hasn't talked to his Aunt Iris, hasn't introduced himself to her, and she doesn't know who he is. So this is the issue where he's finally confronts Iris, and man, it almost made me tear up.
Mm-hmm.
It was so great.
Joshua Williamson's writing the shit out of this book.
Oh, he is. It's great. Like we had this one part where we were talking about where Iris again, and Barry has revealed himself to Iris as being the Flash, and that's been for issues now. They were having a conversation in his old crime lab, and she has his suit come out of the ring. And he's talking about the radio he has in his and the lightning bolts that come out of the earpiece, and she was wondering what kind of music he listens to when he runs. And it starts playing like a podcast by Neil deGrasse Tyson. And she just like, you run to science podcasts? Science audiobooks? You're such a fucking nerd. But then it made me go, it's like, yes, Barry Allen's a fucking nerd. He's a science nerd. I miss that Barry Allen.
Yeah. I mean, that's the Barry we want. That's the Barry that was in season 1. And it's a Barry they've dumbed down to make other characters smarter, or I don't know. But yeah, it's this is a great issue. You and I are, like you mentioned, our very first character corner was Wally West. We're big time Flash guys. Talk about art. I think you and I during the Jeff Johns run with Howard Porter and Scott Collins got kind of I'll admit it, we got a little spoiled.
Oh yeah,
art's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a return to form. Like this. If they can maintain this look and feel, it's going to be really, really something to look forward to as far as this new generation of DC books.
Yeah, and I think it's something we don't give enough about. Like usually when they don't change art styles with Batman that much, when you get it, it's there. And I think that when it comes to the Flash, like the things where I always make me drop off of the Flash is when they change the artwork too much. So it just doesn't feel like it has that feel, and I think that the art was just getting it was just getting kind of weird there, and I'm like, you can't draw the Flash too jagged,
right?
It doesn't. To me, I think the art for Flash and for Batman speaks so much about the characters, that it's almost as important as the writing, if not. No, I wouldn't say more important, but. It's very, very, very important. And I think that's very, very important for comic books in general, but particularly for these two characters. Yeah, no, this issue just made me, it gave me goosebumps.
And I know we usually do same day explorers, but this is just a little thing on the last page after it's established that Wally probably doesn't remember, previously hadn't remembered all the details of his prior life. And it kind of got enfolded into this primer's timeline. The things that were shown are very clearly pre-Flashpoint.
Yes.
Bart Allen himself in that rebirth suit after during Flash Rebirth, because he's got the single striped lightning bolt.
Mm-hmm.
It's the full ramifications of what Barry did are become clear.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be Flash War is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
And I love that they established during the Gorilla Grodd thing we talked about on the mailbag, how they said Barry's a scientist. He has studied the Speed Force, but Wally feels it in the way that Barry never could.
Yeah, I can't wait for Flash War. I'm very, very excited for this.
Me too.
Very, very excited. So, All right. You got anything else you want to add before we end this?
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about.
Oh, you talking about Prototype the movie?
Let's do it. We have to. I'm sorry.
Oh, the Venom trailer's trash. I'm sorry. I'm not even going to try. Why, what are we doing? What are we doing, folks? What are we doing? Why are we doing this? Why are you guys in here trying to pretend?
I was like, oh, I was going to really try to do this. Nope.
Why are we even pretending here, guys? Why do you like? I don't understand why anybody's trying. What?
Michael Felder was my guest on Unanimous Decision podcast this past weekend, and he was talking to myself and someone else on Twitter today. He said, I watched War for the Planet of the Apes last night. If that's if that's what technology can do, why does Venom look like this?
Well,
I have the answer.
Well, I have the answer. I have the answer because it's a $50 to $60 million movie.
Yeah, that's very true.
I mean, that's when people keep trying to say, "Oh, I don't think it looks that bad." I'm like, it does. It looks like fucking Spawn. 99. Actually, people go, "Well," I had people respond to me when I said it looked like Spawn from 1997 movie. People go, "Well, they're made by the same. It was the same creator." I'm like, okay, first of all, motherfucker. All right, the Spawn movie was 1997. It is 2018. If you're telling me that Venom, like it looks fake, it looks bad. Even when you see him, and again, remember, guys, you're not going to see him as fully Venom for most of the fucking movie.
No.
When you're seeing him use the symbiote powers throughout the rest of it looks fake. And why does it look fake, ladies and gentlemen? Because it's a $50 to $60 million movie. You cannot do this and use those effects for $50 and $60 million. You just cannot do it. You cannot. And it looked good. So this idea that something, and I'm tired of people trying to think, oh, you're MCU bias, or you're just not trying to give it a chance. And no, it's not that. It's history. It's facts. It's the fact that this is a rushed movie. It's Sony. It doesn't have the budget that it should be. And that doesn't even get into the idea that the story is fucking stupid to do a Venom movie without Spider-Man. I won't even get into that part. Like, fuck that. I'll let that shit slide. This is look at it from a movie.
Why is his name Venom?
Well, no, but here's the thing. The reason why I let that shit slide and say don't even get to that part because this shouldn't even be a movie. Forget the comic book aspect of this. The idea of what this movie is supposed to be, and to make a movie like this. Forget the character. Forget what you know about the comic book character. If I came to you and said this is what it's going to be, a character that has a CG suit that can do all this other stuff. Like, okay, well, you need $100 million budget. Now we're going to do it for 50. I'm going to laugh in your fucking face. You can't do it. You can't make that movie. There's a reason why it was rushed. This movie shot. Come on, that's where my problem comes in at, folks. People go, well, it looks like it's going to be different. Yeah, different piece of trash. The fuck? I'm sorry.
Different does not mean good. Like, let's just make that very clear.
And I'm look. I wasn't even going to do this. I'm serious. I know. I'm not even trying to say this to rub this in deep. I'm being dead serious about this. But nigga, I just saw Infinity War. All right, and I'll be good. Goddamn. And after seeing that shit, you sit here and try to tell me that Venom's going to be a good fucking movie. Get the fuck out of here, people. Get the fuck out. We know what we can get. We know what studios, if they want to, what they can put money behind and put attention behind. Sony is not doing that with this film. They're not. So why are we pretending like this is going to be anything other than trash? Why? Oh, well, it's got Tom Hardy in it. So what? He's getting a paycheck. He don't give a fuck.
That's the thing my boy texted me is like, look at this cast. Look at it. Tom Hardy, Woody Harrelson. So I'm going to do this right now, too. So everybody at the time of saying, I want to see what Woody Harrelson's playing Carnage. And they're not showing you him. He's not named on the movie. So it's Carnage. Sorry, guys. They also speculate the other it to be Lasher's Scream and something else. You know those classic Marvel characters that lasted one miniseries. Michelle Williams. Does she have an Oscar?
I thought she got nominated at least.
Riz Ahmed are all in this movie. The fuck?
No, it makes sense.
I get it. We all got bills and shit, but like,
They got bills
That's a talented cast.
And like I swear to God, I swear maybe I again. God, I don't go. You're just making that shit up. I could have sworn that Tom Hardy only shot 2 weeks for this film.
I would not be surprised. Like the acting in the trailers feels like, is he a crazy person who thinks he's an investigative reporter?
Oh, that's the other thing too. It's like, yo, like I don't like what was that accident? What was it? What was that? Well, they can't say symbiote. So what was it? Symbiote or whatever? I don't know what the fuck. I
was like, no.
Apparently,
man.
I've been saying it wrong all my entire fucking life. Like I don't. I could have sworn that he was like a mechanic, but they were like, oh no, he's an investigative reporter. I was like, oh really? Interesting.
Who also fixes cars.
Right? Like what? I don't
like. And they're like, well, this is Eddie from the comics. Like, actually, Eddie from the comics was a bombastic liar who got exposed for lying about the Senator Scoop interview and had his life ruined by Peter Parker, which made him hate Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Why is he why is he a realized version of every Aaron Sorkin reporter character ever?
And what was it again? What accent is he using to speak?
I'm not going to get about his accent. Tom Hardy has a weird accent. It's fine.
But no. Tom Hardy can. I've seen Tom Hardy speak normal. That was somebody told him to speak like that in this film.
Who's voicing the symbiote? Is that Tony Todd?
I think so.
God damn it! They picked the right voice.
Yeah, no, they get that worry. This got to be him.
But it shouldn't. It's so. If you're looking forward to it, cool. Enjoy yourself. I once again realize that everything's not for everybody. The same way I approach the Transformers movies, I will approach this. I refuse to watch it. I refuse to discuss it beyond this podcast here. I will never mention this movie again because for me, it's not happening. I will pop up to say I told you so and dunk on all you assholes who are like, you're being a hater. I've got eyeballs.
I literally had people say it looks just like the comic, and I wanted. I thought maybe my devices were broken.
It's one of the moments you're like, am I having a stroke? I think I'm having a stroke.
And then I put the picture of Spawn from from the Spawn movie, and people were like, oh yeah, it does kind of like that. No shit. Go figure. Interesting.
Who's the fanboy now?
Okay. All right. So, all right, folks, we're out of here. Again, thank you to everybody who has been sending stuff in for filling out the listener survey. Continue to do that. Let's see, is there anything else I want to make an announcement about? No, that's basically it. No one's saying check this weekend. Character Corner will be out this weekend instead. And yeah, just stay tuned. Oh, and the mailbag will be out Friday. So just stay tuned, folks. Again, thank you guys very much for listening. Until next time, we're out of here. Peace.